Happy Easter, everybody, and welcome to week 3 of our Hello Spring knit-along, featuring 2 different designs that are featured on Ravelry. I'll put the links down below after if you haven't seen them already. Sonoran Shawl on my right is project number 1, and Hitofude Cardigan on my left is project number 2. And they're both quite fascinating to knit, not too difficult, definitely a little bit past beginner level, but quite manageable. So Sonoran Shawl, shown here on the designer, can be worn in about 4 to 5 different ways. You can wear it with a shawl pin, wrap it around the neck once, tie it in a big double bow as the designer does, and also wear it as a long scarf, loose tails in the front, or just tie it once. In last week's video I did show a few different ways to wear it, so you might want to look back in our video section or in the event page, Hello Spring Knit-along, for reference to that. And then the Hitofude Cardigan is knit all with 1 stroke of yarn. So Hitofude is a Japanese term which applies to a painting technique, which is painting with 1 stroke. So the paintbrush has 1 stroke. Well, for this one, the knitter has 1 stroke of yarn from the cast on till the cast off. And I thought it would be fun to show you my work in progress, because this is what it will look like. I've got about another 2 inches to do, but this is what it will look like unblocked. And then you're going to see a huge transformation next week when I have it totally blocked and the yarn relaxes, the lace pattern reveals itself, and it doesn't look so crumpled and shriveled up on the mannequin. So I'll show you the front and the back of that one. And just to go over the specifications for each pattern in case you're joining us for the first time. The Sonoran Shawl is knit on 4mm needles. We're using Richard Degree's Pepino, which is fingering weight, pure merino, hand-dyed right here in Ontario, in the beautiful speckled colors. Although some of our knit-alongers are putting in solid colors or tonal colors too. So be sure to check our event page, and that's where everyone is posting their works in progress. Project number 1, project number 2. Today I just posted a beautiful combo. It's about halfway knit in the shawl pattern by Nancy, one of our knit-alongers, and her colors really resemble the desert shades. Mine resemble a little bit more of the bright blooms that are happening right now on the cacti. And this shawl is knit in 1 long rectangle on the bias. After blocking, it will certainly exceed your expectations. It's over 90 inches, but that just gives you more cozy warmth. And you can see each end tapers into a nice point. There's 2 different lace sections in the pattern. One is called the mesh lace, and it's a little bit more delicate, shown here in Richard's Fizzy Pop, which is a light purple shade with speckles, deep purple speckles. And then over here, the scalloped lace, which is in Richard's colorway called Indelibly. And in between you have a nice, relaxing, refreshing stretch of garter stitch between each lace section. So it kind of gets your momentum back, and then you're ready to plunge into the lace work again, which is both charted and written. So you have your choice of which type of direction you prefer. I usually do follow the charted directions, but this time I went with the written directions, you know, just to be a little bit different. And I actually enjoyed that for a change. I just thought it was more like reading a book. So that is Sonoran, and then I'll show you the front of Hitofude. Remember, it's unfinished, I put all my stitches from the circular needle onto a piece of waste yarn, just so I could stretch it out and show you all the details. So the very beginning of the cardigan is cast on one long number of stitches, which will be your sleeve width and your body width. And the cast on is a crochet chain provisional technique. We've got the link to the tutorial in the event page if you're just starting your cardigan now. And then the instructions require that you knit so many repeats of that pretty lace pattern, which looks like a chevron or V. Some people see hearts there. And once you've knit enough repeats that go around the width of your arm, remember when it's blocked, this is really going to stretch to a full-size sleeve, 3/4 length sleeve to the elbow. Once you've knit the required number of repeats, you're going to do a 3 needle bind off, and that's going to complete the underarm on this side and this side. The rest of your stitches will remain on the needle, and from that point you're going to transition. Here we go again, Judy. Turn around. So from that point you're going to transition to a knit 1, purl 1 rib, and that rib becomes almost like the waistband across the back to give it a bit of fitting, and it continues all the way up and around the back of the neck and then across the back again. So that's just one entire circular round worked on your circular needles. 3.5 millimeter, I'm using 3.75 just to get the right tension. And it's only about 1 inch of ribbing, so that will give you a little bit of a mind break from doing continual lace work. And then you'll start to do the lower portion, and you can see I have the markers here and here. They'll go back on my needle in the same place. So those markers are essential. They are to keep you lined up so that you're doing the lace pattern down the back without any increases. So the same lace pattern you started at the top will transition into the back panel, and then from each marker to the tip of the front you'll be doing increases, and these are invisible increases. It's not the make one type or the knit into the front and the back type. This is done so incredibly well. I was really impressed by the whole design, but I did like the increase section the most. So what happens here, the increases are done invisibly right into the yarn over section of your lace work, and that way you'll see that you get more knit stitches eventually between each lace panel, and that creates a flare at the front. So the flare is going to allow you to be able to close the cardigan when it's blocked, we're not there yet, and also to let it hang down at the front as it shows in the picture. So you really have to trust the elements of this pattern and know that it's going to come out just as beautifully as the photo after blocking. So all the increase sections are worked in here, and then you get a lower or shorter front and a longer back. Quite magical. And this is the full width across the back. So there you can see the back section is worked exactly as the top section. The same number of stitches all the way down, and from the marker across to the tip of the front, this is where all the increases happen, which essentially will give you extra width at the back and the front to create the A-line shaping, which we all love because it's so flattering. So I'm going to be sure to have a before and after picture, before it's blocked and after, and I went with a really dark horse, this tonal shade, and I know a lot of you don't really like the tonal shades when you're doing an intricate lace pattern, because you think maybe it takes away from all the work that goes into it. But I just thought I would experiment and see how it comes out. I think it's going to come out really beautiful. It does have a little bit of striping, but the striping is very consistent because you're working the cardigan all in one piece, so that means wherever the stripes are on this side, they'll equal what's happening on this side. So for that reason, I think I can get away with it. Hi Sharon, happy Easter. We just had a wild mid-afternoon snowstorm here in Bracebridge. Just never know what to expect in the morning when you wake up. You don't know how to dress, how many layers to wear. It's quite crazy weather. Okay, so I think if anyone has any questions about either project, if you're stuck or sometimes you need someone to read through the pattern along with you, just to clarify a section that doesn't make a lot of sense, don't hesitate to leave a comment below or send me a private message. I'm happy to answer all your questions. As you know, we did make lots of changes to the number of repeats in the Sonoran pattern. I'm going to put the link below, and all the notes about those changes were described last week in the video, and they're also listed in a post in the event section. So Hello Spring Knit Along, you just go down, click discussion, look for the post that features last week's information. And the reason that we shortened up some of the repeats, starting at, does anyone remember what section we started to change the pattern at? Hi Lynn, how's the weather where you are? We started at section 11 in lace number 1, and instead of repeating rows 3 to 10 3 more times, we just did it 2 more times. It's just to keep your yarn yardage in check, so you know that you'll have enough yardage for each color, and also to make sure the shawl doesn't come out enormous, because some of us are maybe not as tall as the designer. I don't know how tall she is. I'd say she's probably about 5'8", but you can see she's wrapped it around multiple times to shorten up the front tail. So if you're not fond of wearing very, very heavy, bulky shawl at your neck, then it's good to follow our notes and shorten up the sections that we mentioned without taking away from the overall pattern effects. It's still going to look just as beautiful. I think it looks even more beautiful when it's more manageable. So yeah, so we used 4 colors of Pepino in the speckles. These colors that I've used seem to be really in demand. So Richard has dyed up another batch of them, and I will put the exact colors together in kits, and I'll put it in our online shop. So you'll see that posted on Facebook and in our website and on Instagram too. That will happen sometime this week, and then you can order exactly these colors, and I'll make sure that the pattern included has the notes about shortening the different sections. And the yarn that we've used for Hitofude is just a good old-fashioned fingering weight, hand dyed. So we've had a couple of knit-alongers using Alma, which is pure merino. It's not tonal, it's just a variegated multicolor, but it's very soft changes. And I think, yes, we do have a knit-alonger, Catherine, who's using this color, and she's posted a picture in the events page. So if you're still looking for color choices, be sure to see what others have posted in their progress pics, and then you get an overall look at what it translates to. I'm using the Unique Fingering by Earth Yarns, which is also 100% merino, and you can see it has lots of tonal shades, 2 skeins to do size number 2, which is finished at 48 inches. No, finished at 37 inches. So you'll need 2 or 3 skeins for most of the sizes in Hitofude. And we've got some Bridgerton Season 2 inspired colors for spring palettes. And this is our Muskoka Yarn Goddess, fingering weight, super fine alpaca with a bit of nylon. So we've got it in color Elation, which is a blush coral shade, and this beautiful lemon meringue color, which is called SIF, S-I-F. That's also in the Echo Alpaca. And this is a new shade called Serendipity. So these are, if you're watching the Bridgerton season 2, I mean, it's all about the costumes and the colors. These are the sort of colors that the ladies of Mayfair are wearing this season. And then we also have Lilian Pine in a tonal rose petal shade, and then more of the unique fingering in the gray. So there's still quite a few pretty colors. If you have any sort of color suggestions you'd like to see, just send me a message and I'll be happy to send you a photo to give you some ideas if you're not able to come into the store. So we do have our trivia, and this weekend it's going to be a special Easter edition trivia. Congratulations, week 1, our trivia question winner was Janet, and week 2, our trivia winner was Evelyn. So both of you have an extra ballot in the draw bucket. We'll be doing a live draw next Friday, and the prize is looking very, very pretty for spring with a bit of an Easter theme. But I promise there's no sweets in here, no chocolates. It's just sweet yarn and accessories. And I think there's 1 or 2 patterns in there for some projects. So one of our lucky knit-alongers will be winning that next week. So that will be live at 4 p.m. next Friday. Overcast where Lynn is. Yeah, it's the same here. I hope you don't have the snowflakes like we're having, and yesterday, what a windstorm. Okay, so anyone who wants to take a guess, just feel free to post your guess in the comments below. Take your time, and it'll just be a randomly picked winner who gets an extra ballot into the draw bucket. So did you know that Easter changes dates from year to year because it falls on the first Sunday after the first full moon of spring? I don't think I knew that for some reason. I just thought there was an Easter god somewhere who chose the appropriate date each year. And the story of the Easter Bunny originates in Germany hundreds of years ago. It was originally a symbol of the pagan goddess of spring and fertility. So I did not know the Easter Bunny originated in Germany. I would have thought maybe in the Ukraine. So our trivia question is, where is the world's largest Easter egg located? And go ahead, post your comment as an answer. And also the Easter egg is also known as a paisanka. Paisanka is the Ukrainian term. And the location, I'll give you a clue. The location of the largest Easter egg, I was actually there in the 80s, and I had my picture taken standing underneath the Easter egg, so it is very, very large. So that was on a road trip, so there's a clue. We were able to drive there. Wasn't the destination, but it was a really fun pit stop or a tourist stop on the way. So we'll see who comes up with the correct answer, and maybe you've also been to the giant Easter egg and had your picture taken too. I was trying to find a picture of myself. I know I have one because I was standing under it and pretending I was holding it up with one arm. But after spending 3 hours yesterday going through photo albums trying to find that photo and downsize some of my other photos, I had to give up. It was just like looking for a needle in a haystack. So I hope everybody's having a great Easter weekend so far and having time with family or friends, or if you're staying home and have some new knitting on the needles or a project that really captivates you, then that is great too. So thanks everybody for watching. We've got some answers coming in here. Hi Jennifer, happy Easter. Hi Evelyn. Evelyn has picked Spain as her answer. I'll reveal the answer at the end of when I post the video. So the video is going to go up now, and it will have the links to the patterns and also to the event page so that you can see where the progress pics are being posted of Sonoran Shawl and Hitofude Cardigan. Have a great weekend everyone. I'll be back next Friday at 4 p.m. and I'll be looking forward to seeing who the winner is this time around. Stay warm.